Beyond the velvet ropes and perfectly curated Instagram feeds, there's a hidden world of celebrity excess. We're talking about the exclusive, invite-only parties thrown by the biggest names in the business. But what really goes on when the doors are locked and the cameras are put away? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the most scandalous celebrity parties of the last 2 decades. Let's start with the man who built an empire on throwing parties. The godfather of excess Diddy's Garden of Eden.
It's 2020, y'all. Yeah. It's different than when it was 2016. The game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch.
To understand the modern celebrity party, you have to start with the master, Sean Diddy Combs. Long before the recent controversies, Diddy was famous for throwing the most over-the-top parties on the planet. His annual white party was legendary, but it was his 40th birthday in 2009 that rewrote the rules of celebrity decadence. Hosted at New York's iconic Plaza Hotel, this was less a party and more a multi-million-dollar production. It was dubbed the Party of the Century by some, with a Garden of Eden theme, and Diddy reportedly dropped a cool $3 million to make it happen. The Grand Ballroom was turned into a paradise, featuring a reported $30,000 orchid display, real ferns, and apple trees. A massive black chandelier hung over a custom dance floor, with Juilliard ballet dancers scattered around the room, adding to the surreal vibe. The guest list was a who's who of 500 of the most powerful people in entertainment, including Jay-Z, Beyonce, Denzel Washington, and Bono. To get in, guests had their hands stamped with a black light sensitive mark, a small price to pay for entry into this fantasy world. The champagne and Ciroc vodka, Diddy's own brand, flowed endlessly, and the night was capped off with a private performance by the legendary Al Green. But the night wasn't all glamour. The sheer number of A-listers created chaos at the door, with hundreds of guests stuck outside for over an hour. The situation got so frantic that a famed security expert had to be called in to set up barricades and restore order. For those who made it inside, though, it was a night of pure opulence that cemented Diddy's reputation as the ultimate party host. His events were declarations of power, setting a new standard for celebrity culture. The rockstar marathon Kate Moss's 100-hour birthday bender. If Diddy's parties were about polished opulence, supermodel Kate Moss's celebrations were all about rock and roll endurance. For her 40th birthday in 2014, Moss threw a party that was less a single event and more of a 4-day festival of glorious mayhem. Rumored to have cost over $100,000, the celebration sprawled from London's choicest restaurants to her private estate in the Cotswolds. The theme was Glastonbury, a tribute to her favorite music festival. The real party started when the action moved to her country home. The vibe was pure psychedelic fantasy. Yurts in the garden housed tarot card readers, face painters, and fire jugglers. The entertainment was a who's who of British music, with reported performances from Florence Welch, Massive Attack, and Soul II Soul. At one point, Noel Gallagher of Oasis reportedly led a 6 a.m. acoustic sing-along of Happy Birthday. This was not a party for the faint of heart. It was a marathon fueled by an endless river of champagne and spirits. To keep the wild moments private, guests had to hand over their phones at the door. One of the most talked about details? An on-site tattoo artist, giving some guests a permanent souvenir of the weekend. It was the ultimate hedonistic rock star fantasy, a party so epic it became the stuff of British legend. Moss proved that a truly scandalous party isn't always about breaking the rules, but about creating your own reality, if only for a weekend. The modern mayhem Cardi B's Vegas Bash. As we get closer to today, the idea of a scandalous party has changed. It's less about what happens in secret and more about what's brazenly shared on social media for the world to see. No one captures this new era better than Cardi B. Her 28th birthday party in Las Vegas in 2020 was a masterclass in modern excess, bringing together stars like Kylie Jenner and The Weeknd. Held at Area 15, the Sahara Desert-themed event featured actual camels and a marching band playing WAP. This party was scandalous not for its secrecy, but for its unapologetic wildness, broadcast live on Instagram for millions. The celebration came just a month after Cardi had filed for divorce from her husband, Offset, yet the two were seen kissing and dancing intimately all night. At one point, Cardi was even filmed giving him a lap dance on the floor. The guest list was a who's who of modern celebrity royalty. Kylie Jenner gifted Cardi a highly coveted Birkin bag, while The Weeknd held court at his own table with Teyana Taylor. The whole affair was a whirlwind of twerking, flying cash, and high-energy performances. The night ended with Offset gifting Cardi a custom Rolls-Royce, complete with an $8,000 monogrammed car seat for their daughter, Culture. While the party was a spectacle of wealth, it also drew heavy criticism for its large crowd and lack of social distancing in the midst of a global health crisis. This event is the perfect snapshot of a modern celebrity scandal, personal drama, insane spending, and a complete disregard for the rules everyone else lives by, all playing out on a public stage. The power play Taylor Swift's 4th of July Kingdom. Not all scandals are about debauchery. Sometimes, the real scandal is about control. Enter Taylor Swift. You won't find stories of her parties descending into chaos, but her famous 4th of July blowouts of the mid-2010s were scandalous in their own way. A scandal of influence, exclusivity, and perfectly managed perception. For a few years, an invitation to Taylor's 4th of July bash at her Rhode Island mansion was the hottest ticket in young Hollywood. These parties weren't just celebrations, they were meticulously staged photo shoots for maximum social media impact. The guest list was a carefully selected squad of models, actors, and musicians at the absolute peak of their fame, including Gigi Hadid, Blake Lively, Karlie Kloss, and Emma Stone. The vibe was aggressively wholesome and aspirational, matching patriotic swimsuits, a giant inflatable slide, and flawless group photos. But the perfection was the point. These parties weren't about letting loose, they were about building a brand. They projected an image of an impenetrable inner circle, a kingdom where Taylor was queen. The scandal here wasn't about bad behavior, but about the message of exclusion and social hierarchy it sent. Gossip columns buzzed about who was in and who was out, making attendance a public measure of one's industry relevance. The perfectly crafted images that flooded Instagram felt less like spontaneous fun and more like a strategic power move. While Diddy's parties were about owning the night, Taylor's were about owning the narrative. They showcased a more subtle kind of celebrity power, the power to control perception so completely that your manufactured fun becomes everyone else's aspiration. From multi-million-dollar productions and 4-day benders to social media spectacles and curated power plays, these parties reveal so much about the nature of modern fame. So, what do you think? Which of these parties would you kill for an invite to? And who do you think throws the wildest parties in Hollywood today? Let us know in the comments below. And for more videos exposing what really goes on in the world of the rich and famous, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Conclusion. Behind every velvet rope, there's a story waiting to be told. Whether it's a tale of legendary extravagance, a marathon of rockstar hedonism, or a carefully calculated display of influence, these parties give us a rare peek into the true nature of celebrity. The invitations might be exclusive, but the scandals always find a way out. Thanks for watching.